To continue off our gas safety segment, I am honored to chat with one of the greatest leaders in the gas business, Maine Oxy. Maine Oxy was founded in 1929 and has continued to be recognized in the industry for supplying gases for businesses, including medical, industrial, agriculture, and welding industries, to name a few. They also offer welding supplies and hold 5 locations in Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, Massachusetts, and Connecticut. They service customers in Rhode Island and some in New York. They've continued to grow as a leader in the industry and are also known for their huge advocacy on gas safety and are a proud partner of CO2Meter gas detection solutions. Let's dive right in.
All right, everyone, this is Morgan Morse, VP of Marketing at CO2Meter. And today, to continue off our gas safety segment, I am honored to be speaking with Dennis Lucas, Northern District Sales Manager with Maine Oxy. Now, for those that do not know, Maine Oxy was founded in 1929 and serves customers across New England, providing gases and related products for industries including welding, industrial, beverage, and more. They have continued to be a huge resource for CO2Meter and a proud partner. And I'm excited to be here with you today, Dennis. And thank you for giving me some of your time, especially on a Friday, no doubt.
Well, thank you for having me today, Morgan. It's a pleasure to be a part of this, and it's a real pleasure to be working so closely with CO2Meter.
Thank you. So to get things started, Dennis, would you mind just giving us a little bit of more background on Maine Oxy and your role there?
Sure, thanks. As you mentioned earlier, Maine Oxy, we're entering our 95th year in the business of welding supplies and welding gases. We're a family-owned company, always have been, and as far as I can tell, we always will be. It gives us, we're a real part of our community, gives us a different insight into our customer base and the services we can provide. Recently, we're finding a lot of our customers are moving into agricultural fields, which is causing the increase in use of CO2 in particular, which prompted our partnership there with CO2Meter.com as we work to ensure that everybody that we work with gets to go home safely in the same condition that they came to work in the morning.
No, absolutely. I know you mentioned the CO2 aspect. It's integral in all of these different applications. You mentioned agriculture. So when it comes to gas safety, what do you feel is most important in the field or for your customers, like you mentioned?
When we dealt with safety with customers, it was primarily cylinder safety. But as we move into this new era of gas use, we're getting a lot more bulk usages, which means there's a lot more product on site for customers. We're seeing a lot more of that use for the gas and a lot more of it in a site. So it's become more important for us to be able to provide for our customers an ability to know where their levels are. Most people don't understand that it's possible to have, for example, far too much oxygen in an environment, and you could have oxygen at dangerous levels, which is always a surprise when people think we need oxygen to survive.
No, absolutely. And I think awareness is key to your point. It's important to know, not just working with these gases every day, but what potential hazards are at play when you reach such high concentrations. What about education, Dennis, with these gases? Is there anywhere that you like to refer your customers specifically? I always like to ask industry leaders like yourself, what resources do you find most valuable for your customers?
We provide a lot of information on our LinkedIn page, which gives people an opportunity to discover some more resources. We work very closely with the Gas Association. It's called GAWDA, G-A-W-D-A. We also work very closely with the Compressed Gas Association. We collect all that information, distill it down to a manageable level and send that out to our customers on a fairly frequent basis just to help them to understand. We also provide a lot of on-site training for various parts of our industry, one of which is gas safety. As a team, on my particular team, there's nine gentlemen, and we have well over 230 years of industry experience, so we draw on that a lot.
No, that's excellent. You guys are not just supply, you're also providing the training and the education that goes with it, which is huge. And I keep seeing you guys also just all over. You mentioned LinkedIn with your posts and your resources, and we also look to you guys too as a resource. So I think that's great, and I definitely think that's what sets you guys apart as well. What about technologies, Dennis? I know obviously I wouldn't be where I am obviously today without the technology aspect, but is there any that Maine Oxy stands by or uses just in terms of gas safety monitoring or technologies for your customers?
Our favorite one is CO2Meter.com. It's the most end-to-end solution that's very simple implementation for the customer, very easy to keep track of, and for us, it's just been a great fit. And we actually, many of our drivers wear the personal meters to ensure that the back of their truck is a safe place to be. And it's just been a great partnership that we're thrilled to be in.
Thank you. No, we're proud to be your partner as well. And I appreciate you for noting that and seeing that you guys also not just are on the fixed end, but also are using those portable monitors for your guys in the field, which is very integral. So we appreciate that. But on the leader side, Dennis, I think lastly, if you were to give those in the industry just one piece of advice, you've, I'm sure, seen pretty much it all being in the industry for as long as you have. Is there one piece of advice you would give someone, whether it's a customer or even for your own team, to take home and implement when it comes to gas safety in the field?
It's an ever-changing industry, and the one thing that I would tell people is don't ever take any of this for granted. We often have conversations internally here to remind each other that the compressed gas that we deal with on a day-to-day basis can be very risky and quite dangerous to work with. And if you forget that, you do so at your own peril. And so just a constant attention to the detail of safe use of these products, whether it's oxygen, CO2, argon, nitrogen, they all have their own particular risk factors and they need to be dealt with appropriately. And it's always great to use your salespeople, your vendors, to get a read on where you are with that. Again, we had several months back a customer who had neglected some safe practices, very nearly caused themselves some dramatic injury to their people in their facility. It was a very simple little thing that had happened that it fell under the category of complacency. Just don't ever get complacent about this. When you least expect it, it can come back and hurt you, which again goes directly to the importance of what you folks provide with the CO2 monitoring and the other gases, the monitoring of those, just to keep everyone aware that the place they're working is a safe place to be in.
No, absolutely. I think for those, sometimes, you can just be in the day-to-day and not really be aware. And like you mentioned, most of these incidents can absolutely be prevented. It's just having that awareness and education and having those safeguards in place to make sure that you make it home safe. So I appreciate you for giving us that insight. I think that was really helpful. So let's switch gears just a little bit. I know you've mentioned a lot on safety. I've already learned so much just in the few minutes we've talked, but what about Maine Oxy? I know it's 2024. We're already ending Q1. What's new with Maine Oxy? Is there anything that you're working on specifically that's new? I know you mentioned new industry. What does Maine Oxy have in the works?
We're working very hard in the agricultural industry, in the food production industry up here in Maine. There's not the manufacturing base is more or less steady, but it's not growing. But we do. Up here in Maine, we make a lot of good food that we're sending all over the country. A lot of nitrogen dosing for packaging as an example. And we're kind of moving in that direction. The bulk gas industry is growing by leaps and bounds up here. And as we move into that, of course, with a family focus like we have, I mean, our employees aren't employees, they're family. And we want to make sure that they get home every day the same way that they came in. And we take that same attitude to the marketplace. So as we expand into these bulk gases and the food industry, we just want to ensure that we can share that same kind of level of concern with our customers and get them home just as well as they came in the morning.
We love what you guys are doing. I think that is just so great. I love that it's family based. I love you guys' commitment too. I know we see it all the time out there, just who you guys are, what you stand for, your values. So thank you so much for sharing that insight, Dennis. That are watching this, let's say they want to connect with you, or they definitely want to learn more about Maine Oxy. Is there anywhere that we could send them other than the website?
Again, our LinkedIn page. I have my own LinkedIn page where they can reach me. It's under my name, Dennis Lucas. They can always reach out by email to me directly. It's dlucas@maineoxy.com. And if I give an answer that somebody doesn't like, I will pass them on to the owner of the company, who has a cell phone that he answers whenever it rings. And I know that several of our corporate competitors can't say the same thing.
I love it. There you go. They got all the details. So thank you so much, Dennis. Again, thanks for speaking with me just a little bit today on the importance of gas safety.
Yeah.
I know it's huge for you all. It's huge for us. I'm so proud of this partnership, and I appreciate you taking time out again today to chat.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, thanks again. Great way to spend a Friday.